What's happening, guys? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to my channel. You guys already know what it is. Happy Friday. I hope you all have or are having a wonderful Friday wherever you lot are watching. You lot know what it is. The weekend before, is that the right term to use? Not so much. I don't think I'm not using the right term, but basically United are playing this weekend. United are back this weekend in action against Newport in the FA Cup, fifth round, I think it is. And of course, the FA Cup actually starts today. So there's quite a few fixtures on, including Spurs versus Manchester City. A lot of news in the football world. It's not always to do with Manchester United, but a lot of news in the football world. And of course, the biggest one is that Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool at the end of this season. Now, first and foremost, big up to everyone in the chat. You already know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. If you are a Liverpool fan or you're not a Liverpool fan, please let me know below what your thoughts are about Klopp's departure at the end of this season. Do you think it's now added fuel to the fire or fuel to the belly of Liverpool players to go out and let him leave the Premier League on an all-time high, i.e. with a title, similar to like Sir Alex Ferguson did? There's been discourse online surrounding, his status in the Premier League, and we're going to talk about that as well. And of course, as always, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. We're going to talk a little bit about Pep's shots fired at Manchester United. No friendly fire over here surrounding Umar Barada, who's departed Manchester City to join Manchester United. And then we're going to quickly preview the FA Cup game on Sunday. Be sure to hit the like button. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. You can join the members club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your member badge, you get emojis, custom emojis, you get your member only content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel. Now, Jurgen Klopp leaving, of course, I know some of you are going to say errors come to an end. Look, as soon as I knew it, Imran says it. Ten Hag said errors come to an end. Klopp is going. Next is Pep. That City 115 charges might be the end of that era for sure. But the departure of Klopp for me is a very interesting one. I've already seen discourse around him, who could potentially be the next manager that comes in, but he shut things down immediately by saying he will never coach another team in the English Premier League. As for what's next, rest. And if you watch the video, and if you haven't, you can go watch it. It's pretty much on probably every news outlet right now, but it's also on the Liverpool Twitter page. If you watch the video, he did see, like, I feel like it could be like, it's just the job has become so much where it's having an impact on his day-to-day life. I know he did sign an extension last year. Some Liverpool fans said to me that his wife never wanted him to sign an extension, and they agreed that he was going to leave at a certain point, but he didn't end up doing so. But can I just say, rivalries aside, yeah, rivalries aside, yeah, Liverpool aside, Klopp made it. There was funny moments. There was funny moments in the Premier League. Of course, I can never look past the defeats that we've held under Klopp. I can never look past that. But from a managerial perspective, he really made. There's a lot of memes that I've used in my time that has come from Klopp. That's it. And a lot of comments he's made that I've used as memes that have come from Klopp. Liverpool fans, if you know a Liverpool fan out there, if you are friends with a Liverpool fan out there, if you live with a Liverpool fan, if you're married to a Liverpool fan, if any of your siblings are a Liverpool fan, if your parents are Liverpool fans, check in on them. Check in on them. Because seriously, that news came out of nowhere. And I know for a fact there is probably not a Liverpool fan out there right now that's not distraught by that news. Honestly, there is not a Liverpool fan out there that is definitely not distraught. Now, obviously, the topic of discussion is who's going to replace him. I'm seeing names like the Zerbi flying around. We're going to come to the Zerbi as well. But I'm seeing the Zerbi flying around. I'm seeing people saying Steven Gerrard, Nagelsmann, Jose Mourinho. I'm seeing, how does Jose Mourinho still have his name in people's mouths after the stints that he's had over the last couple seasons with other clubs? Of course, he's a great manager, and we can never look past what he did with Porto, what he did with Chelsea. But come on, I'm sure clubs have moved past the point of having Jose Mourinho. I've seen the biggest one of it all is Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen, and he was asked about it in his press conference today, and he basically just said that he's kind of focused on basically the rest of the season. So he gave a very a cryptic answer. But of course, the biggest news of discussion today is Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool with Currently, one Premier League title, one Champions League title. Obviously, they're still in a title race. They're actually in all 4 competitions still. The Carabao Cup final this season. Of course, they're still in the FA Cup, still in Europa, and then they're still in this Premier League race, if you want to call it. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm just, you know what? A part of me is happy to see the back of him. And if he leaves a Liverpool of structure, a team of structure. Obviously, I think Van Dijk, Salah, quite a few of their contracts end next season. But if he leaves, this could be the start of the downfall. This could be the start of the downfall. Big up to Olomba says, as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy Klopp is leaving and couldn't care less. Good riddance. Big up to Starlord says, big up Mina. Klopp was the manager I wanted to replace Fergie. You know what's funny? United was in for Klopp, if I remember correctly. United was in for Klopp, and that was the manager that they wanted. I think they ended up going obviously down a different route, but that was the manager that they actually wanted to go with, and I think he turned United down. I'm not saying it's true, but I'm sure I read an article that said that he turned Man United down to join Liverpool. Emma Hayes and Klopp leaving, finally no more thrashings. It seems like all the managers that have been at the front of Manchester United struggles, both in the men's team and the women's team, they're all leaving this season. Maybe Ten Hag was right. Errors do come to an end. Clearly, he didn't mean it in a winning way. He just meant people would leave. But let's quickly start as well. Let's quickly go on to, Pep Guardiola's comments about Omar Barada joining Manchester United. And he said, basically, we still got Kevin De Bruyne and we still got Erling Haaland, i.e. if United want to celebrate that, good on them. And it sounded a bit salty. I'm not going to lie. If you watched the video, if you let me know your thoughts as well below, because I tasted a bit of salt with that. It came across like a bit of a salty statement. I'm not gonna lie. It came across a little bit like he's firing shots, not in a genuine type of way, but more so in a not in a genuine way. It didn't seem like a genuine like he didn't even say I wish him the best or any of that stuff. I'm gonna get up the quote quickly just so that I can read it word for word, and then we're gonna come on to some silly transfer news that is still ongoing surrounding Manchester United, which is Brian Brobby. It's like it's a name that we cannot escape. By the way, I genuinely do not think Manchester United are signing anyone this window, whether it's a loan, I don't think United are unless it's a deadline day signing and they come with some random deadline day signing. I don't see anyone coming in, men and women's team. I don't see anyone coming in. And this Brian Brobby link is frustrating. It's annoying to me because I saw an article that said that Manchester United are in the summer, they're interested in, there's 2 names that have come up so far. Brian Brobby, who the manager likes, and Ivan Toney, who INEOS like. I swear to you, if we ended up signing Brian Brobby over Ivan Toney, then Erik ten Hag needs his head checked. You know when Ralf Rangnick said open heart surgery, forget open heart surgery. We need to do brain surgery on Erik ten Hag, because there's no way they can go. They can look at Manchester United's front line, and also it just proves the mismanagement, not only of funds, but also the recruitment strategy. Because how are you going to go out in the summer to sign another striker for, say, 60, 70 million when we just spent 70 million in the summer on another striker who now is carrying the load of the front line because Anthony Martial, who is going to be out. It's funny, Anthony Martial and Klopp both came in the same year. Do you know how funny that is? In the same season, if I'm correct, Anthony Martial and Klopp came, and now they are both leaving in the same end of the season. That's just a weird coincidence, in my opinion. Am I the only one who don't rate Toney? That's interesting. It's funny because I don't think Ivan Toney fits into Manchester United, but then again, I can't really say who fits into Manchester United because I don't know what the Ten Hag way is of playing. I can say one thing, that Ivan Toney is he's a great number 9. He can create for himself, he can create for others, gets into the right places, got a shot on him, can take set pieces. He's good in aerial duels. His link up play is very good. So I think as a whole, as a striker, there's not many other strikers that are coming close to him in the league. You know, you got obviously Haaland, etc. But in terms of top number 9s, for me, Ivan Toney's top 3. I couldn't say. I rate Isaac. I rate Isaac, but for me, the only thing with Isaac is that he doesn't play consistently because it's either it's rotational between him and Callum Wilson, or he's got an injury, or he has a run of games where he plays consistently. But he doesn't play game in, game out, 90 minutes full on. Whereas Ivan Toney pretty much was. And it's funny because Ivan Toney only got a call up to England just before his ban. That's the funny thing to me. But I rate Ivan Toney. I think he's a good striker. I think he'll be the answer to quite a few things for Manchester United. But I also do think that, okay, let me word this as well as possible before anyone kind of gets onto me. I think that Manchester United's striker problem and the goal scoring problem that United have, the first thing to do to fix it is not to buy a striker. I think you need to fill the other holes before you bring in a striker, because you can bring in an Ivan Toney and he won't bag you 30 goals. He won't. And when he's not scoring the 20 league goals a season, everyone's going to be like, oh, you spent money on him for what? Basically, I feel like the issues at United's root right now, which is the creating, having possession of the ball and doing nothing with it, I genuinely feel like that needs to be addressed before United go out and buy a striker. Whether it's Ivan Toney, I'm not even going to say Victor Osimhen, because I do not see Victor Osimhen joining United. For me, I think he's going to Chelsea. I think that's a done deal for Chelsea in the summer. And I think he's a great striker as well. But whatever striker United do go out in the summer and sign, if they do, then it has to be one once they've addressed all the other the roots of the problems, because we still have issues. We still have issues in build-up play. We have issues in possession. We have issues in transition. And honestly, a striker is not going to change that, because you can get a striker and those problems will still be there. Mason Mount, the manager gave an update on Mason Mount today, said that he's training well. He's been training individually for the last 2 months. What injury has he had that requires him to be out for a prolonged period of time and then have 2 months of individual training, and yet he's still nowhere closer to returning back? Like, for me, that's a red flag. That's a big red flag. Unfortunately, I don't see Mason Mount's time at Manchester United really working, if I'm being honest. If we just go off of what the last 6 months have been, but then again, this last 6 months has just been he played a few games and has literally been injured for the rest of it, which I say this time and time again, United should have never wasted money buying him. I don't care for Liverpool managerial situation, because we aren't direct rivals anymore. Bournemouth and Wolves are direct competitors on the Conference League ticket. Absolutely no ratings there. Big up Ollie Universe says, I think the Zerbi is nailed on for United. I'm going to come back to that comment as well, because obviously it's rumoured that INEOS are favouring him. Big up Super Scud says, big up Mina, big up. I hope you guys all having a wonderful day. Be sure to hit the like button, guys, if you've just come through. Be sure to subscribe if you are new here, and you can join the members club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and you get to support the growth of the channel as we continue to grow as well. Just a quick one, by the way, on De Zerbi. The idea of Erik ten Hag being sacked, and you know what? I've heard today, since Jurgen Klopp announced this, since Jurgen Klopp announced his departure, or Liverpool announced it, I've seen this whole discourse surrounding Erik ten Hag and whether he will kind of survive INEOS. De Zerbi, I think, is a good manager, but until United fix the problems that are at United, the structural problems, you could bring any world-class manager here and they will be ass. They will be crap. But under INEOS, it does seem like they are heading in the right direction in terms of and you lot know me, I'm very I'm not pessimistic, but I'm very reserved in my thoughts around INEOS, because I always say, when I see it, I'll believe it, but I'm not going to write them off completely immediately, because they've given me no reason yet to write them off. What they've done, the first important step, which is bringing in a CEO that has a proven track record. And then what they're going to do next, bring in a sporting director. That once they bring in a sporting director and they kind of observe the overall situation at the club, then they can decide on the recruitment strategy. And the good thing of, I think, bringing in a CEO who has resigned imminently from his position is that it gives him, even though he's not coming in until the summer, I think it's July the 1st, he's not coming in until, he's got a 6-month period now to basically look at the whole situation, observe the situation. He might not be officially in the role, but he can prepare for it. And once he comes in July, he can hit the ground running immediately with whatever idea is, whether it's the marketability of the club, whether it's the recruitment strategy of the club, whether it's, you know, assessing the academy situation, the women's team, etc. There's a lot of factors that plays into being CEO. And obviously after that, it's the most important thing is a sporting director. So even if Erik ten Hag was to remain, or he was to get sacked, and, you know, De Zerbi or whoever, all these, what's it called? These names are like triggers. The names I've been hearing Nagelsmann, I've been hearing De Zerbi, I've been hearing Zizou. Like, people really think Zidane's coming to the Premier League. Really, we need to let that ship sail. We need to let that ship sail. I hope we don't get De Zerbi because I don't trust his Bart Simpson haircut. Rashford and Bruno can't play De Zerbi ball. I'm going to come on to Rashford because team news was out today regarding who's available. Rashford is not available for the weekend, and then people posted online about him out clubbing in Belfast. So we're gonna come back to Rashford and that as well. Haaland won't score more than 10 goals for us because no one will pass to him. I agree, and that's my point about strikers in the team. That's literally my sole issue that I have with United spending big again in the summer on a striker, is the fact that we still have gaping holes in other positions, and not just in other positions, but we have problems in those positions. Even though, for example, you know, we've got Bruno Fernandes, there's an issue with the way that Bruno Fernandes plays. So until that is addressed, you know, bringing in a striker ain't going to change anything. We got a right winger that can't cross, and all he can do is cut in with his left foot. I hope he gets, genuinely, when I saw that statement about Omar Barada and how he believes players should have 1 to 2 years to basically prove their value at the club, otherwise they get sold, I thought, yep, Anthony is out this summer. Anthony is out. And I remember at the beginning of the season, I read a report, and this is before kind of INEOS even won the bid. It said that Man United were looking to buy a winger in the summer because they anticipated, this is when the Jadon Sancho situation started, and they said that the report said, I can't remember where did I read it on, I can't remember, but it said that United were looking at signing a new right winger in the summer of 2024. Even though INEOS have come in, I don't really think that has changed. I genuinely do not think that has changed in terms of needing a winger, because it's very evident. And we can look at, you know, Højlund and say, oh, he's not getting the chances, or if he is getting the chances, oh, he's not finishing the chances. But really and truly, from a build-up perspective, we get to the opponent's box, and we don't know what to do with it. It's either we take multiple shots at goal, and when we take multiple shots at goal, we end up, when we take multiple shots at goal, it just gets blocked all the time. So it's literally that, or United just spam crosses into the box. Literally, it's one or the other. So you can put an Ivan Toney there, you could put a Haaland there, you could put Van Nistelrooy or whatever great strikers United have had in the last 40 years, you can put them there. But the root problem of it is the players that are playing behind the striker, and as a result is impacting the way that we play. I don't think a striker is the answer to the problems that we have. Rashford and Garnacho want to run in behind defenses. They don't want to drop deep and be creative. It's a big problem. Do you think that that's like an instruction from the manager? Do you feel like they're told to do that? Because Rashford likes to make run-ins from behind. Like, Rashford always likes to do that. We know, it's not a secret. This year, I feel like he's done it a lot less. Like, I genuinely feel like he's done it a lot less. And I'm not sure why. I don't know. Again, like I said, I don't know if it's instructions. I don't know if it's, you know, if that's just how he wants to play. But it seems like he's doing a lot less of what he used to do last season. And he's being a lot more, I don't want to say selfish. I don't really want to say selfish or anything, but I would say that he's, I don't like to negatively describe players. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like to do that, but he is playing a bit more selfishly, and no number 9 can prosper like that, in my opinion. No number 9 can prosper. Rashford and Bruno need to be sold this summer if we are a serious club. I don't see either of them getting sold. I'll be for real. If INEOS come in and make a statement by selling one of those two, I will be so shocked. Like, honestly, guys, like, we can come back to this in the summer if one of them end up getting sold. I will be very, like, gobsmacked shocked. You know, like, you know, when hands on your head, like how Liverpool fans felt today, but them it was more like misery. and upset, and they were generally attached to their manager. Me, I'm just shocked because I think that would be a huge statement from INEOS. And I just don't, like, I already told you, like, what I think about Marcus Rashford's sellability at the club, and the reason why he can get away with anything, and the reason why he's held quite high is because he's the epitome of what it means to be Manchester United in terms of marketability aspects. You know, academy kid, born and raised in Manchester, you know, MBE, all of these kind of stuff. It's what the club will look at and think, yeah, this is, unfortunately, you know, this is the kind of stuff that they'll get behind. Ruth says, hey guys, any update on Miyazawa and Gabby? Gabby's out with an ACL, but she is back in the gym, so she can stand on her feet and all of that stuff. She's doing light gym work. Miyazawa is out till March, April. I think she had surgery, so she's out till March or April. I hope that answers it. We need a fire sale. You know what? I would all be for it if realistically, United sell, say, 11 players. Yeah, say we sell 11 players and we bring in 11. How realistic is that? Like, let's be for real, guys. I think if we could have a fire sale, if we could have a fire sale in our non-starters, I could get behind that. Because it's not difficult to go out and buy players that can be rotational players, etc. I think, you know, the biggest issue when it comes to buying a starter is different to buying rotational players. So if we could get rid of the bench that we have in terms of, you know, they're not good enough to play for the club, I could get behind that. The question is, would INEOS do that? And who would they sell? Because, you know, before Sir Jim Ratcliffe came in, he had this fundamental idea of, you know, having the core team of British excellence. Yeah, Maguire. If that's the case, Maguire's not going anywhere, and Scott McTominay ain't going anywhere. That's at least two of them. Luke Shaw's not going anywhere. Marcus Rashford ain't going anywhere. Who else am I missing? That's might be English or British. Jadon Sancho, I think, inevitably will be leaving just because of, you know, the situation at hand with him and the manager. I think him going out on loan is just to drive up his price. But Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire, Rashford, Luke Shaw, them man are not getting sold if we stuck to Sir Jim Ratcliffe's selling point when he was buying the club, which was a British core and, you know, young, great British talents, etc. I look at the people I've named. Most realistic that I think to get sold in the summer is Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire, because he's had a good season thus far, until his injury, he's back in training now. So his season so far has kind of driven up his selling price a little bit. Gonna go to the Euros with England. Inevitably, we'll have a good competition because, let's be real, guys, he's had good competitions for England, World Cup and Euros over the last couple of years. So that will also drive up his selling price. So I can see him getting sold because also his contract expires next summer. So if United do not somehow offload him this summer for a reasonable selling price, they're never going to recoup the 80 million that they spent on him. But the best that they can do is get at least some of that back, at least some of it. So if it's 45 million at the most, I think United will take it and sell him. Scott McTominay, pure profit. That's an academy kid. So whatever they sell him for, 10 million, 15, 20, that will be pure profit in FFP terms. Marcus Rashford, another one, pure profit, FFP terms. He's an academy kid. Luke Shaw, I think Luke Shaw is probably more likely to leave on a free when his contract inevitably finishes, just because I don't see. Number one, I think the biggest problem is his fitness and his ability to stay fit. The only time he's playing great is, you know, when he's got some sort of competition. And unfortunately, this season, when Reguilon did come in, he played well. He played well, and then he kind of cemented his spot. So Malacia's obviously out, so he knew he weren't getting dispossessed basically from his spot anytime soon. But you look at those four British players, if you want to say, and you can maybe INEOS could sell one or two, but I just don't see them. I don't see them selling Marcus Rashford. In all honesty, Mina, did you watch the Scott McTominay podcast? I have a lot of respect for him now. I saw clips of it. Is it worth me watching? I saw little clips of it. So if it's worth me watching, I'll watch it. Eric Ten Hag wants to throw more players into the final third, and we still can't score goals. Do you think that's down to the the tactics, or do you think that that's down to more the technical ability of the players? Because I'm not gonna lie, there's some chances that we get in the box, and genuinely, I think, how do we not put that away? There's being unlucky, yeah, but doing it consistently, you can't be you can't be consistently unlucky. I don't think you can be consistently unlucky. At that point, I'm gonna question your technical ability as a player and really think, you know, are you able to even put the ball in the back of the net? The biggest issue that I realized with United is that they actually do not overload the box when it comes from when the ball is in the wings, when the ball is in the left or the right hand side. And you know, if it's Marcus Rashford bursting into the box, or it's Anthony or Garnacho, whoever on the other side, when they're going into the box, driving into the box, there's probably like 2 players in the box. You know, you'll have a Bruno lurking on the edge of the box, Eriksen lurking on the edge of the box, Kobe edge of the box. It'll be Højlund and McTominay all the time, kind of crashing into the box. And at that point, it's 2v6, 2v7. We're not going to score like that. Whereas all the goals, if you look at all the goals that we've conceded this season so far from cutbacks, yeah, overloading the box. They've got 4 players on the box, and usually it's the 5th one that's making a run in that gets the ball, gets onto the end of the ball. But teams flood the box in their numbers. And of course, in transition, that means you have to cover a lot more space. But I would rather you do that and kind of overload the box, rather than having 2 players in the box against 6 people in the opposition team, and then 3 United players on the edge of the box just waiting for the ball to land to them. I'm sorry, I'd much rather have a lot more players in the box. And I feel like that's one of the issues. Another one of the issues is, let's be honest, guys, when it comes to United putting balls into the box, whether it's, again, Rashford, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Garnacho, Anthony, whoever it is on the wings, they are bad passes. I think it was Dalot's cross to Garnacho for the bicycle kick against Everton, but it was a bad cross. Like, it was a bad cross. It was a poor cross, dragged back way behind him, and Garnacho he managed to make something out of nothing. But please, this weekend when United play Newport, just watch the deliveries into the box. Like, we always say, why does Højlund get no service? And I don't think Højlund is good in the air. I knew that from when he joined from Atalanta. I know it for 100% now at United, but I don't think he gets good deliveries into the box. And when they do get the good deliveries, there's not the right person to get onto the end of it. There's never ever the right person to get to the end of it. We don't have any midfielders creating chances. So it'll be very difficult for any striker to flourish. Selling Rashford, Anthony, Bruno, and Onana to buy replacements who can create more and score will be good. It's so funny that that Onana is on that list, and he's only been here for a couple months. A mid-table team would buy Shaw. I agree. Bruno and Rashford could get us around 120 million easily. Listen, I think they could get us 150. You might call me crazy, but do you think if we raise 150 for sale and reinvest correctly, what would be your expectations? I think it depends on a lot of things. I think it depends on the players that United buy. I think it also depends on the manager, if it's Ten Hag. It depends also if United are buying starters or if we're buying rotational players. If we've sold people for 150 and they're all like rotation players, I don't think my expectations will be that high. But if we sold a Bruno, for example, and we signed a direct replacement for him, then my expectations will be a lot more higher. It's kind of hard to predict next season and talk about next season. That's why I don't really try to be doing that. Just because you know, this season ain't even over. We don't even know who's going to be our manager. We actually do not know who is even going to be our manager next season. We don't even know if it's still going to be this manager. So just for that reason, I kind of shy away from talking about expectations for next season. But guys, it was a quick stream. I didn't intend to do a long one because I'm doing another stream tomorrow for the Newport FA Cup preview, where we're going to talk a lot more in depth about that game, formation, who should start, Marcus Rashford, all of that kind of stuff. But this was just a quick one, just news. There's no transfer news. You know what, guys? I wanted to do regular transfer streams in January, but there's nothing Absolutely. Like, even the other clubs ain't doing anything. So there's not really much for me to talk about. Hopefully this summer will be a much better one. You guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You can join the members club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your member badge. You get your custom emojis. You get your member only content. And you get to support the growth of the channel. I will be back over the weekend. Do I have streams planned? Yes, I do. We've got a Manchester United women's watch along on Sunday lunchtime. And then we got streams coming throughout AFCON as well. We got more next week. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You guys know what it is. Hope you have a wonderful Friday evening, and I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you have a good one, man. You know what it is. It's your girl, Mina. Peace.